settlement agreement. When they make them for the divorce. We were married on married date, month, date, and year, and separated on separate date. They don't know, just today. They month, date, and year, because irreconcilable difference, just reason for divorce. Divorce reason in California, no other one, no, they can make no other, just reason, divorce reason, irreconcilable difference, have caused the permanent breakdown of our marriage. We have made this agreement together to settle once and for all what we owe to each other and what we expect from each other. Each of us states here that nothing has been held back, that we have honesty and included everything we could think of in listening. We money and goods we own. Each of us agreed to sign and exchange and papers that might be needed to complete this agreement. 2. Division of community property. If they have a community property, how they can divide? We divide our community property as follows. 1. Husband transfer to wife as her sole and separate property. If a husband have any property, transfer to wife. 2. Wife transfer to husband as his sole and separate property. Wife have any property, same thing. Three, division of community property, debt. If they have any debt, then also they can divide it. Number 1, husband shall pay the following debt and will not at any time hold the wife responsible for them. Husband gonna pay any debt, for example, for the payment and credit card or something. 2, wife shall pay the following debt and will not at any time hold husbands responsible for them. Same thing. If any debt, wife is responsible, all of them. 4, waiver of spousal support. Each of us waives any claim for spousal support now and for all time. This one is be careful. If the both parties sign on this section, they cannot even pay even spend the time. They cannot request for the spousal support. Best one, each of us waives any claim for spousal support now and for all time. Just each of us waives any claim for spousal support at this time only. This time, 지금은 now, this time I cannot wait, I can't wait. But the spousal paid at some period, they can request it. Who knows? After a few years, husband getting lottery or wife get a good husband in case past a few years they can request for the spousal support. Date husband, date wife. Okay, page is 70. I think this is 69, 70, the same thing. 69, 70,
Thank you.
아,
okay.
칼리지 학생인데 오늘 여기서 수업 드렸다고.
Oh, you don't have any books? 책이 없네?
Hello.
No books?
No.
Well, office, they have books.
Okay.
Just one day, bottle.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Page 71. Assignment of lease. Assignment of lease. For good and valuable consideration receipt of which is hereby acknowledged. For good and valuable consideration receipt of which is hereby acknowledged. Somebody named as tenant and somebody named as landlord. This one is between tenant and landlord. Maybe lease or unlawful retain or something. And who as assignee. That one is the tenant and landlord. But the tenant is he's transferred to sublease anybody, and as assignee, the sublease hereby agree to the following assignment of lease. Assignment of lease. As assignee, tenant hereby assign, transfer and convey. Transfer and convey, page 71. Tenant hereby assign, transfers and conveys to assignee all his right and interest under a certain lease, date, sign date, lease date, months, date, 2000 something, I lease, a copy of which is in act hereto, by and between the tenant and landlord for the premise described as, and the big space, that one is the address. Whole address put right here. This assignment shall remain in full force and effect from some. The assignment shall remain in full force and effect from also the date for all the remainder of the lease term, date of the lease, starting the lease, subject to all conditions, including payment of rent, all covenants, conditions. and the terms of the within lease. The landlord assign asset to the assignment of said lease shall not discharge tenant of its obligation under the lease in the event of breach by the assignee. This assignment shall either to be benefit of and be binding on the parties hereto, their heirs, successors, and assigned, date, tenant, assignee, and assent to. Assent to, I agree, meaning I agree. Date, tenant and assignee, and then also I agree, landlord. 3 persons sign on the paper, assignment of lease, meaning. That's the page 72. For good and valuable consideration received of which is hereby acknowledged, somebody as tenant, somebody as landlord, and somebody is assignee. Hereby agree to the following assignment of lease. Tenant hereby assigned transfers and conveys tenant hereby assigns, transfer and conveys to assignee all his right and interest under a certain lease, date, months, date 19 or 2000 something lease, a copy of which is annexed hereto by the between the tenant and landlord for the premise described as, and then the vacancy space is address, full address including zip code. This assignment shall remain in full force and effect from also the date for all the remainder of the lease term, subject to all conditions, including payment of rent, all covenant conditions and terms of the within lease. The landlord assign asset to the assignment of said lease shall not discharge tenant of its obligations under the lease in the event of breach by the assignee. This assignment shall either to be benefit of and be binding of the parties hereto, their heirs. Date, tenant, assignee, assented to, meaning agree. I agree, and then no. 3 persons should assign on the paper this assignment of a lease. Okay, 73. Final notice before legal action. Any legal action before the lawsuit, final notice before legal action. This is why we send this notice This is good evidence. For we file for the lawsuit, the other parties, something. No, I don't know why you file for the legal action, lawsuit, something. But before the legal action, final notice before legal action, in case they cannot. I don't know. If you don't know this, why I sent 1 month ago and final notice. Why you didn't send it at any time? That's so important. Date to the other party's name and address. Gentlemen, we have repeatedly requested the payment of some amount on your overdue account. Our demands for payment have been ignored. Accordingly, we shall turn this account over for collection. Within the next days, unless payment or on acceptable proposal for payment are obtained. If the matter is turned over to your attorneys for if the matter is turned over to your attorney for collection, it may result in additional legal costs, and you may also be liable for attorney's fee. This may have a different deterrence effect on your credit rating. Very truly years. This one is just next page is 74, but the same thing, final notice before legal action, same one. 75 is promissory notes. Promissory notes meaning is looks like the check, but the check is the make the bank. But the promissory note is make the other parties. For example, price is $160,000, February 19, 2004. For variable received, I or with the undersigned may harm follow from injury to pay to Namsuna lender the sum of $150,000. The top is $160,000. And the change of $150,000 together with the interest hereon at the rate of 10% per annual payable for written borrowed $40,000 as March 2000 and $30,000 on June 2001, 40,000 and May 2002. That should be $1,100,000. And will borrow $50,000 for 2004. Me and Han will go to Korea with Nansen R until February 29, 2004. Payment of interest only shall be due and payable in the amount of $10,000 on and final payment in the amount of $15,000, $150,000. This note may be prepaid in whole or in part at any time. Without premium or penalty in whole or in part at any time. Without premium or penalty, all prepayment shall be applied first to interest, then to principal payment in the amount of the This note may be prepaid in whole or part at any time without premium of or penalty in whole or in part at any time without premium or penalty. All prepayment shall be applied first to interest, then to principal payment in the order of their maturity. The undersigned agree to pay all costs and expenses, including all reasonable money attorneys, The undersigned agree to pay all costs and expenses, including all reasonable attorney's fee for the collection of this note upon default. All payment shall be made at Seoul, Korea, or Los Angeles, California, or at such other place as the holder hereof may from time to time designate in writing. It shall make surely guarantor and endorse of this note waives presentment notice and protests. All suretyship dispense and agree to all expansion extension, and rework, or releases, discriminate or exchange of time, or pay or collection hereafter. If the other party is still arriving, this promissory note, good evidence should pay. Okay, next page also promissory note demand. Page 76, promissory notes demand joint and several liability for value received. We, the undersigned borrower, name, joint and severally promises to pay to somebody, lender or order of sum of amount. And then next line is also dollars together with interest hereon at the rate of some percent, normally 10% per annual. The entirely unpaid principals and accrued interest hereon, if any, shall become immediately due and payable on demands by the holder hereon. This not may be prepaid in whole or in part of any time without premium or penalty. All prepayment shall be applied first to interest, then to principals payment in the orders of their maturity. Next line. This none may be prepaid in whole or in part at any time without premium or penalty. All prepayment shall be applied first to interest, then to principal payment in the order of their maturity. The undersigned agreed to pay all costs and expenses, including all reasonable attorney's fee, for collection of this note. Upon default, all payment shall be made at place, at meaning next place Los Angeles or at any place, or at such other place as the holder hereof may from time to time designate in writing. Witness somebody, follow somebody, date also follow something. Other form is the promissory note. Series means all the different one, amount, date. For variable received, we, somebody, borrower, promise to pay to the order of somebody named lender the amount of dollars payable at place with interest at the rate of 10% at annum. This note is numbered some in a certain series of some notes. Should here be a default in the payment of any of the notes, then at the here option of the holder hereof, the remaining notes within the series shall immediate here become the due and payable. Sign date on the shell this month's date of year, witness follower. Some different form. Any form you can use it, the promissory note, at any form. Okay, you can go to the restroom. 10-minute break. Okay. Break time. Okay. Okay, finish the break time. Page 78. 78 promissory note, the different one for open accounts debt. For variable received, the undersigned promissory promise to pay to the order of the sum of amount and amount dollars together with the interest thereon at the rate of normally 10%, 10% per annum on the unpaid balance. Legal interest normally 10% per year. Said principal and interest shall be payable as dollars, as follow described terms. That one is the, for example, principal amount $100,000 and interest 10% per year. That one, just to pay consist pays, principal amount and interest should be put right here. The undersigned may prepay this amount, this note in whole or in part without penalty. In the event any payment due hereunder is not paid, well, when due, the entire balance shall be immediately due and payable upon demand of the holder. Upon default, the undersigned shall pay all reasonable attorney fee and the cost necessary for the collection of this note. This note is executed to evidence at existing indebtedness due the pay from the undersigned This note is executed in evidence on existing indebtedness due the pay from the undersigned on an open account balance as of this date, and this note shall not be construed as a separate obligation signed under seal this date of months and year and sign. That's the different promissory notes. The different one. Full value received we undersigned the borrower promise to pay to somebody lender or to some of the amounts dollars together with the interest hereon at the rate of 10%, normally interest rate 10% per year, immediately due and payable on demand by the holder hereof. This amount may be prepaid in whole or in part, anytime, without premium or penalty. All prepayment shall be applied first to interest, then to principal payable payment in the order of their penalty. Should the debtor fail to make payment as the above, the entitled unpaid principal and account, interest thereon. Should the debtor fail to make a payment as above, the entire unpaid principal and accrued interest thereon, if any, shall become immediately due and payable on demands by the holder hereof. The undersigned agree to pay all costs and expenses, including all reasonable attorney's fee for the collection of these if somebody buying or some material, all payment shall be made at the city of Los Angeles or at such other place as the holder hereof may from time to designated in writing. Date, follower, date, follow, both parties sign that the promissory notice finish. Next, page 80. Page 80. September 18, 2002. Chris Shop, Ina Shop, 2050 Fremont Avenue, South Pasadena, California, 91030. The other party's address. Regarding note and deed of trust dated here February 18, 1997, amount $81,000. Mr. and Mrs. Shop. This one is notice, final notice before the legal action. This office represents Barbara Koo in connection with the 13 notes and deed of trust dated February 18, 1997. I'm informed by our client that you are in default of total amount of $81,000. 5 p.m. this office will proceed their exploration. This officer will proceed with the explanation of the notes and instrument of foreclosure percentage. The notes to our office, our client is current, secured by the deed of their agreement against your property located at 2050 Fremont Avenue, South Pasadena, California. payment must be certified clock, money order to cash and to receive in our office at described above the avoid the foreclosure exception. Before the legal action, final notice for the legal action. Next page is declaration. What's mean as a declaration? This one is also, I'm gonna file for the lawsuit, but final notice to the declaration. I hereby, Bong Young Kim, declare that I met Mr. Kyung Hoon Kim in Korea 1 year ago, but he couldn't control his temper and always rudeness. Couldn't temper and rudeness, and he requested the money for his make pleasure. Whenever I make refusal against his request, he made me threat. I declare I should depart from him, and he made me threat. I decide I should depart from him, and he made me threat. He told me he served in prison for 4 years, and he can go to prison at any times. He threatened me he will come to my home at any times, but I afraid become my place. He threatened me he will come to my home at any time, but I afraid he comes to my home and met my family. Also, I worry that he has a weapon at any time. I don't want to make a problem anymore with him. I certified on the penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California at foregoing is true and times. Executed on July 16, 2007 at Los Angeles, California. Declaring somebody. Next page. 82. California all proposed acknowledgement. State of California, County of Los Angeles, on some date before me, name and title of officer, your name, notary public. Notary public, the date and not name. On personally appeared, name and document signer. personally known to me or provided to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be their personal, whose name is as subscribed to the within instrument and acknowledged to me that he, she, they execute the same in his or her their authorized capacity, and that he his their signature on the instrument their personally all the entire open. On the instruments, the persons, or he entirely open behalf of which the persons acted, executed the instrument, which is my hand and official seal, signature of notary. Next one is the 83. Family census register. Family census register meaning some country certificate of birth certificate, family census register. Permanent address 246 북선동 선동구 Daegu City. Description: complied on July 21st, 1981. Complied on March 7, 1986 in accordance with the report of transfer family register from 110 석공리 전동 region 영이동 충남도. This family register was recorded on April 1st, 2002 under the computerization system in accordance with the Article 2 of the Civil Application how family head, name of full, Lee Jong-min, date of birth, July 12, 1947, father's name, Lee Young-gyu, mother's name, Kim Ok-sun, sex, male, family origin, Jeonju, formal registration, family head, Lee Jong-tae, in 110 석공리 전동면 용기 군 충남도. Description: born at 346 신화동 적기원동. Somebody. That one is description is the address. He was born, this address, and then the bottom is a wife name. Description also. That one is the just child description, child something. That's not